Woo! We are alive. Thank you so much for being here, Kym.
No worries.
So Kym is an actor. He's a stand-up comedian, and his comedy is hilarious. And that's why I wanted to have him in my podcast to talk to him, because his comedy drives me crazy. I laugh, I cannot stop. So I just want to talk to him, have conversation. And how often do you write?
So for stand-up, I don't write as often as I should. I know loads of comedians will tell you, you just gotta keep writing. My process with my stand-up is I will write at the start of each year, I will write like a brand new set for the year. And that set will end up getting changed about 3 or 4 times a year. Long story short, I will run the same set for a whole year or until I feel like the jokes aren't working anymore, which is very unconventional for stand-up. It's a really unconventional way of doing things. But I've been doing stand-up for about 4 years. So it's a way that works for me. As you know, comedians have different ways of dealing with how they write their material and how they structure it. I just write a set at the start of each year, and we just see how it goes.
You mentioned that you do it for 1 year until the jokes doesn't work anymore. What does that mean? Like, do you have...
Yeah, so at the start of each year, that's why I say it's unconventional, because comedians don't normally do it. But what I will do is I will write maybe a new set of jokes at the start of the year, or if there's like jokes that I've done before and I want to bring them back, because I will occasionally do that.
Yeah.
You could, like, there was a joke I did about 3 years ago, which I've only just started putting back into my sets because it feels a lot more relevant now. So yeah, it is what it is, I think. As I say, it's a really unconventional way of doing things, but if you find something that works, go with it.
So you have jokes that doesn't work anymore.
So with the jokes that don't work anymore, what I will tend to do is I'll go through 3 stages with it. The first stage is, if it's not working after 3 gigs, I'll go, okay, I'll take it to like feedback mics, which I don't normally like going to, but I'll take them to feedback mics and go, okay, here's the joke. Does it work? What is there that's not working? And if at the feedback mic, they're like, oh, it's not working because of this, I will then take it to a normal mic and go, okay, here's the reworked joke. What do you guys think? There's a joke I used to do for about 1.5 years, and it was about because my name is a male's name and a female name. I used to have the joke along of, because it's unisex name, it would be, I can never afford uni and I never get sex. I would run that joke for about 1.5 years. And then when I did actually lose my virginity, I then had to take the joke out. And ironically, it's the one joke that people keep asking me to bring back. And it's like, I want to do that joke again, but for me, it doesn't feel like I should be doing it. But to be fair, everyone always says comedians normally bullshit about their stories in their sets. So I could easily bring that joke back. But that's a perfect example of when a joke doesn't work anymore. So longest I've run a joke for once is 1.5 years.
Do you know Earthquake?
I'm not too sure. The name
Anyway,
sort of rings a bell.
so Earthquake, he's comedian, and by the way, the name Earthquake, he named himself Earthquake when he started doing comedy. So in case comedy doesn't work, nobody knows his real name. And if someone tell him, are you Earthquake? He's like, no, I don't know him. And then he become famous. So he become famous in 2 years. Which is, some people say that you can be a comedian in 10 years. How do you view this?
Well, there's 2 ways to look at this. First of all, stage name. people are always telling me like, is like Kym Nash your stage name? And I'm like, no, that's my actual name. I not had a stage name. But if I was to have a stage name I've been thinking of is Jason Dean at the moment. The main reason why Jason Dean is there's a character in a film called Heathers called Jason Dean, or JD for short. And I love the character JD, so I've always been contemplating about using JD as a stage name. But in terms of like the thing about, oh, you can become famous in comedy within 10 years. I personally, look, I've been doing this for about 4 years. I'm almost halfway through that journey. I know comedians who I've gigged with on the circuit who's been doing comedy 15, 20 years, and they're not famous still. So it's sort of a bullshit statement, I think. It takes as long as it takes, really. I think you can't put a stamp on it. It takes however it takes. If you get picked up by the right agent or the right promoter, then you might be able to do it in a quick amount of time, but it varies. You've just got to be good at it, I think.
So you are saying that it depends about luck, about meeting the right people, and
I think that's why I think that's how I see it. You know, every comedian has their own different opinion, but I think it's sort of a right time, right place sort of thing. That's how I see it anyway.
And how to find the right agent? Sorry, how to find the good agent? Is it like go to more open mics? Maybe you're gonna meet one in one of them, or do you contact them, or do you send different agent your records, your photos? How do you make luck more?
I would say the way I would do it, I'm not under an agent myself, so I can't say how it works. But for me, the best, if you want to try and get picked up by an agent, it would probably do comedy festivals. Like, because comedy festivals is where like agencies will go to try and find new clients and talent. So festivals are the main place, I think, for
cool.
luck. Because I know quite a few people who've done. There's a comedy festival in the UK called Edinburgh Fringe, and whenever someone goes to Edinburgh, it's always a make or break. I know several people who have gone up to the Fringe Festival and come away with an agent because they did that festival. Long story short, festivals are the best place to get spotted if you're looking to get spotted.
Let me grab water. Okay. I try to keep hydrated. How many liters of water do you drink per day?
I don't really know. I don't really take notice of it.
Okay, that's cool. I try to drink 3. I try to, because they say water keeps you young. Do you agree?
Sort of. I'm sort of like on the. It depends on what you want to believe in, really. I think if you want to believe in crap like that, I bet someone like yoga, like this is the thing. The main type of people I hate are like yoga sort of people. You know, like those really spiritual people who are like, oh, if you do this, you'll look this good when you're 25. It's like, look, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Like, I really do not care for your bullshit. Like.
But like, you don't care about, like, you don't want to be healthy, or you just feel that life is like, enjoy it and you're gonna die anyway, or what's your
That's how I look at it. I look at that, no matter what you try to do, you can't stop or cheat death. No matter what people in like Final Destination try to tell you, you are not going to cheat death. There's no way. You might as well just live the life you want to live and not think about death, really, because you're going to die either way. Long story short is you're going to die whether you like it or not. So you might as well, you know, make the most of whilst you're alive, because that's the thing. You never know when you're going to die. This is the only time I will get really philosophical. And it's weird. When I go philosophical, people have normally 2 reactions. They're either like, okay, where's the punchline to this? And secondly, they're like, Okay, cool. He does actually have brain cells.
But how about aging better? Because I think we are all gonna die, but some people age better, some people age fucked up aging.
Yeah, this is the thing. You get people who, inject Botox to try and make themselves look younger. I don't care. Like, I mean, like, yeah, you're gonna get older. Like, I'm lucky enough at the age of 20 to still look relatively quite young, which there's two ways to look at it. You can either look at it from a good perspective, which is like, okay, yep, you look young, you might be open to, women or partners, depending on what your sexuality is. Or you can look at it at a bad perspective, which is like, every time I go to a nightclub, I'm going to end up getting asked by security if I'm even old enough to be here. Which, if you're stood in a queue for a nightclub for like an hour and a half, you get to the front and say you forget your ID.
Yeah,
That's an hour and a half wasted. I could have done like a show in that length. I could have done a routine in the queue.
I got it. So I have another question for you, because I feel like our bodies are like machine. And when you try like to stretch this machine, when you try to do some workout, you sweat, you try to drink water enough, you try to eat healthy food. I feel that this machine, our body operates better, feels better, thinks better. So that's, I know we all gonna die. I just view it that way, which is you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. It's the classic thing of, when women are like, oh, it's my body. It's my body. I can do what I want with it. Exactly. That shouldn't be a thing. That should be just linked to women. It should be to everyone. It's your body. Do whatever you want with it. If you want to take drugs and die young, then go ahead. If you want to just live a long, happy life, then you be you, basically. Long story short, is something I stand by a lot. Just be yourself. Just genuinely don't put like this facade up. Just be yourself.
That's the best thing someone can ever hear. What Kym say? Are you drinking?
Yeah, I'm drinking tonight. I'm not
What are
drinking
you
alcohol.
drinking?
I'm drinking soft drink tonight.
Okay. In this podcast, it's not allowed to drink alcohol. So
I was gonna say, to be fair, it could have looked like, I love how you're like, oh, are you drinking? I could have easily gone, no, I'm sucking dick underneath the desk. What do you think I'm doing? Like, it's only got 5 a day. I don't care. Like,
you can do whatever you want. It's your body. So I want to ask you another question. Who do you think gives us this body? Who give you your body? Like, why you are in this body? Who you body?
okay, so if you ask any of my religious friends, they would say, oh, the Lord Almighty gave you this. My way I say it, I'm not religious in the sense, hence why I occasionally call Jesus the several names under the sun every day. And the way I see it more of a genetics sort of thing, which is, like I say, this is the only time anyone who's seen me in stand up will see me go philosophical. And it terrifies a lot of people normally. But the way I see it is, I get a lot of, like, just in general with my body, I see a lot of my mum in the way, not just in my body, but the way I act. A lot of my mannerisms are based on my mother. But what's funny is I'm actually taller than my mother, which is funny because it pisses her off a lot. The best thing I do to her, just to piss her off even more, is because she comes up to like my shoulders. What I will do is, when I go to see her, I'll tap her on the head and go, "Ah," like a little dog. I'll go, "Ah, studying feminism at uni." Ah, and she fucking hates it. She hates it so much. And yeah, I think me and my mum have the same sense of humor, I think.
So you mean like some people, they have it from their dad? or no?
Yeah. I think it's always going to be like that. It's always a case of, oh, part of you's your mum, part of you your dad. Frankly, I don't care what part of my family my body came from, as long as this body keeps me going through life and doesn't break down at any point, then I'm happy.
Yeah, or you can have half from your dad, half from your mom. You know what's the best, in my opinion? When you are half of your dad, the good things, and half of your mom, the good things. That's the best.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a bit of 50-50.
50-50 and the good stuff.
Yeah, of course, not the bad stuff, obviously.
But it's weird, like how these things happened, and really nobody knows. What do you think about having kids?
You should have asked me this 6 months ago, when I was in a relationship. But no, I would be happy to have kids later on in life, maybe in my 30s, maybe 40s. I don't know. I'm not. I would love to have a kid because then at least I've got someone that I can, teach my, so that's something I've got to pass on, because then the world's have to deal with my bullshit for God knows how long. I can then go, haha, world, have this, you motherfuckers, like take this one. You thought I was bad, see how this one is. But yeah, maybe somewhere in the future, um yeah, eventually.
It's scary. It's scary.
It is scary to think that, because ironically, I hate kids. I hate kids just in general. Like, not just like in the sense of, oh, I find them annoying, like in sibling way, but just in general, I hate kids. They're noisy, they're annoying. I just, whenever I see, I'm going to say this, and this is going to get taken so much out of context, and people are going to hate me for it. But whenever I see kids, I just want to headbutt them because they're really annoying.
Yeah. How about dogs? Maybe you need dogs, not kids.
I'm a massive dog person, not dogging. That's something different. That's very different type of dogging. But no, I grew up in a family where our pets were dogs, and that's not including my mother either. But no, I love dogs. I used to have there's a dog in the UK that I used to have called a Jack Russell. They're mental. If you get a really lively like Jack Russell, they're amazing. But yeah, I'm a massive dog person. As I say, dogging, different question.
Yeah, I saw today one Chihuahua with hair. I didn't know that.
Chihuahuas are brilliant.
I didn't know that Chihuahua are hairy, because you can get Chihuahua that has no hair, but today the Chihuahua had hair and it looked so good.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, this is a good dog. Are you playing with your phone?
I'm trying to do something. At the same time, I'm trying to focus on this podcast, as well as people telling me, hey, when are we doing this show? And when are we doing that show? I'm like, just fuck off and leave me alone. Like, leave me alone. I'm doing other things. I can't be a promoter 24/7.
Where do you do the open mics? Which one open mics do you do? Because
So I do various ones. So the ones that I will mainly go to is the Anarchy one, which is run by Erica Schwarzkopf and Brooke Barcel. Those two are brilliant. They're amazing comics. But I run like 4 different open mics physically in the real world. So they say as a promoter, the worst bit is the admin. I agree with that 100%. Out of 7 days a week, I'm probably promoting or booking shows 6 days a week.
wow.
So I don't get much time to myself. That's why when I do like your open mic, I look genuinely tired, because I probably am mentally and physically.
So the other mics, do you get paid for them, or you still doing them?
I'm still doing them free. I've done a couple of mics where I've been paid, but it's not been like massive payment. It's only been something small. But
Yeah.
I'm always open to like paid gigs. I'm always open to those. But it depends on the situation. If someone approaches me and says, look, we're going to pay you this much for, say, this amount of time, you know, then I'll accept it. I don't care how big the payment is. I'll take it because it's stage time at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's weird. There is no like, what's the price when someone like comedy doesn't even like, is there a price, do you think, for comedy, or it just depend on you? Take as much as people offer.
I think it depends on a comic by comic basis. Like, say like if a comic has been doing like TV stuff, then yes, there may be like a price on that. But if they're, you know, in my position where they're still considered an open micer, then I don't think there's a like a price tag on it.
You know, the how to set your price. You want to set price where you will get as much as people booking you with that price.
Yeah.
And you don't want to make it cheap, so you get overbooked and you get less, and you don't want to make it expensive and you lose some booking. You need to find the middle point.
Yeah, you need to find that middle ground that works not just for you, who's going to be needing that money, but also to the promoter who's going to be sending you that money. You have to find that middle ground that works for both of you.
So now, like, what's your like? Do you like? I feel like every comedian has to find agent. That's the step number one.
I wouldn't say it's step number one. I think get the experience first.
Be funny for sure. After being funny, you should get agent.
Yeah, because the good thing is with having an agent is that, from what I've been told, when you get an agent, you'll be the opportunities door, so to speak, opens up a lot more, because you know agents will have like contacts with like big clubs and stuff like that, so they can go, oh, this person wants to do this or this or this. But yeah, I think an agent is definitely, it's not like the highest priority as a comedian, but you should definitely probably try and get an agent as soon as possible. Maybe not right at the start, not like say after your first gig, you're like, yeah, I'm effing brilliant, I'm gonna go get an agent. I'd say normally most agents won't start looking for people until they've done minimum, in the UK anyway, in the UK, minimum 100 gigs.
Yeah, you need to be funny, like, and I think
need to be getting good like laughs for it.
Yeah, and you need to find an agent that's good to work with. You don't need to find someone who's an asshole. So now you are 20 years old.
Yeah.
And you have 4 kids.
I wish. I have no kids, man.
Are you sure? I saw them.
As far as I'm aware, I've got no kids.
So it's like, how many people that they are in their 20 would be shy to do an open mic or to be in podcast, or to, like, you are so confident, like you to the point where like you were playing with your phone and I ask you and it seems normal conversation. You don't even panic. Like, you know,
I'm reading, but like, anyway.
I like it.
No,
that's
like,
just
no,
so
honestly,
confident.
in general, I do think there'll be a lot of people my age who genuinely are. I know someone, my bestest friend, who I've known for about 7 or 8 years. He started stand up, 2 years ago, and he's still really not really confident. And he's only like a year and a half younger than me. You got to think, when I started doing stand up, I was only 16 at the time. I had left school and went straight into pursuing a stand up career. So, you know, yeah, there's definitely, I think any comedian will tell you this: to get up on stage, you need to have thick skin, like, or some, to an extent, you need to have a bit of a thick skin. Whenever I'm anxious on stage, I play up to the anxiousness. So like when I'm on a physical stage, my body will keep shaking. So I will incorporate that into my act. And I don't know if you get this, if you've done like live comedy, like physical comedy, but most people on stand-up will move back and forth, like they'll pace around. I do that a lot, and that's mainly due to the anxiety of it. But yeah, on Zoom, I look so confident. I think it's because I've been doing Zoom comedy now for how many years? This August will be 2 years. Half of my stand-up career has been on Zoom. So I think because I've mastered Zoom comedy now,
Yeah.
or I feel like I've mastered it, you know, but I think I'm used to logging on now and being quite confident at it. But I appreciate you saying I look confident.
No, I think like you are great, and I want to ask you, like, what motivates you to leave school and do comedy? Like, you put like, oh, in a way, like it needs someone like with big balls, because comedy nobody knows if it will work or no. It's so certain. So what make you make that decision?
So the decision for me to leave school and go into comedy was that when I was in school, I was what we call the drama sort of nerd. So I was big into acting, I was big into acting and stuff like that. Hence why, all the musical theatre posters above me, which I can explain in a bit. But yeah, I had this sort of not midlife crisis. I had this like teenager crisis of going, what do I actually want to do with myself when I leave school? And I love performing art. Like I'm a massive theatre fan. I'm an actor myself. So I thought at the time comedy would be my only way out. And it's thanks to comedy that I was able to get like acting jobs, not just on film, but also on stage as well. So yeah, it was sort of like it was one of them moments, when you have that thing of, right, I need to do this, like I need to do it. And if I don't do it, then I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. It was one of those moments. And ever since I've started doing comedy, I've met some amazing people across the world, thanks to the pandemic, so I'm grateful I took that leap 4 years ago.
But what, like, I'm so proud of you. Like, you are 16 and you're like, oh, this decision, I have to take it or I will regret it. Because some people, it takes them like 50 years until they do this decision, or 40 years. So it's good that you were able to control yourself and shift by young age, 16. During this 4 years, what motivates you to keep doing it and be like this? Like, how are you not losing the push and the passion?
I think what keeps me going, especially during the pandemic, was the fact that thanks to the pandemic, I've been able to do comedy in so many different countries. Like before the pandemic, I never imagined of getting to do shows, in like Cyprus or America or Australia or Germany or Europe or anywhere really, anywhere outside the UK. So I'm grateful, genuinely, and this goes out to any of the promoters who have booked me in the past over the pandemic. Like, I appreciate all the stage time that you've given me. You've opened doors for me that I don't think I would have been able to do. There's promoters in America who have said, right, when you come over to America, there's a spot on this show. And I think what keeps me going is that, especially on Zoom, no two shows are the same. I could do, say, your show in like early evening and then go do another show late at night. And both the jokes I'll do at your show will get a certain reaction, and then I can take it to another show and it gets a completely different reaction altogether. So I think it's the constant, I think it's just jokes get laughs at different things, really. I think it's just, yeah, it's the audiences. Like, long story short, it's the audience that keeps me going.
Exactly. I think it's like for me, um, what makes my day is this open mics when people laugh. Like if I'm having a bad day and I do good open mic, I don't care. My mood change.
Yeah,
And
laugh. It's like the old saying, laughter is the best medicine. Perfect example of it there.
yeah. And do you record all your sets?
I don't record all my sets. I will occasionally record my sets if I'm like doing it for like a showcase or something like that. Occasionally I will, but I'm not one of them people who, record all their sets all the time. Yes, I see why some comics do that. I see the reasoning behind it. Perfect example is Amira. She records every single set she does, which I think is brilliant, but I don't record all my sets. I think for most comics it's a preference sort of thing, but I do see why people like Amira will record all their sets.
The most important is to listen to them, not
Yeah.
to just record them, because recording will not help. It was funny. There is one other comedian. He also record all his set, and we had 5 minutes set, and then 1 minute at the end on Friday open mic. You didn't stay to the end, but at the end, or did you stay to the end?
I might have been.
You did. You at the end they give us 1 minute to do.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was there.
And one guy is like, when he has his 1 minute, he record even that 1 minute. Like he
There's no
doesn't
point
care.
recording the 1 minute because by the time it starts recording, you've wasted about 5-10 seconds. So you won't even get to the end of your joke. That mic in particular, the main joke I'm currently doing at the moment is joking about Romeo in Romeo and Juliet and joking about the fact that, Juliet's 13 in Romeo and Juliet and Romeo's in his early 20s. I don't care what century it was written in, that shit's still illegal. And it's really interesting seeing what like people's reactions are to that joke. Because the first time I did it, the audience sort of they clicked on very early on what I was going for. And it was funny because half of the audience are like, oh, and the other half are like, wait, what? He was early 20s. It's
Yeah.
jokes like that that always surprise me.
And where do you write your joke? How do you organize them?
I don't really. This is the thing. I don't organize my jokes. I just the way I do organize my jokes. What I will normally do is I'll like go on my phone and I'll do like a Google document and I'll put like bullet points for like each one of my sets. So we like I normally try to depending on how long my set is, it will vary on how many bullet points I have. So say I'm doing your mic and I'm doing 5 minutes, I'll have like 5 bullet points and those bullet points represent like a minute. So I will do 5 minute set, one joke a minute. It's a really unconventional once, as you can see, I'm a really unconventional comic. I don't follow the same line that everyone else does. I like doing things differently. And if you don't like that, then fuck you. Like
So where do you write your jokes? Do you
I
keep them?
yeah, I write it's hard to say really when I write them. I start writing at the weirdest times. There's been times where I've been asleep at like 2 o'clock in the morning and I'll suddenly wake up at like 2:30 in the morning and start writing jokes. It's weird. I write at the weirdest times.
So what, like you wake up midnight and some ideas are in your
There's
head?
no like I don't set aside time to write my own sets. I just write when I have the ideas in my head. And that's why I go to like Mike's site yourself, because I can work out that new stuff.
So these ideas, they just come in different times and you feel it's funny and you write it. You are like, oh, this is funny.
Yeah, I will occasionally go like, oh, okay, this or oh, this is a good concept for like a joke. And I'll just like maybe on a piece of paper, like scribble like a load of random words and I'll try and function it into a set. it's weird. Like I say, I'm very unconventional, as you can tell.
Like, for example, this your joke, Romit and Julie, or I don't know what's his
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
But it's like it come to your mind. You are like, oh, they were young. Oh, that's illegal. Okay, that's might be funny, and you write it.
yeah, yeah. Basically, that's how that joke came around, really.
So then you write it, and then you go to open mic, and you try to tell people.
Yeah, I will then go to an open mic, try it out, and if it doesn't work, then what I will normally do is I'll maybe ask like the host, because normally the hosts are watching the sets. So I'll normally message the host afterwards saying, "Oh, this joke I did, could you maybe give me a bit of feedback on it? You know, was it good? Is there anything you would personally change?" And I will take people's feedback and I will try and readjust that joke. The good one about the Romeo joke is that it's very open and honest. Like it doesn't leave a lot to the imagination. Like it's a really easy joke. I didn't have to make many changes to it. I just had to slightly reword it slightly.
But do you try sometimes like to sit in one particular joke and try to add punchline to it or
Oh yeah,
comparison?
there's times where I'll tell stories and the story will feel more like a thing that should go to like a storytelling mic. But then I will occasionally tell a story that has no punchline until right at the end.
So how many seconds is that?
Probably the longest story I've ever written is about 2.5 minutes, and it had a punchline at about 2 minutes.
So now you are expecting people to listen to 2 minutes and then laugh at the end.
Occasionally, yes, which that's why I don't tend to do long stories anymore.
Or you can say it to Jerry. He will laugh through the 2 minutes.
You know what Jerry's like. For those watching who don't know Jerry, he will laugh at anything and everything. Like I did a benefit show for myself recently, and basically I just started doing a song about basically my balls, and I just had to say the word balls, and Jerry started laughing. It's crazy. It surprises me what makes Jerry laugh and what doesn't.
I want to have him in my podcast just to discuss his laugh. Like, I want to know what's going on.
Yeah, I would definitely want to know, why does he just laugh at everything? Is it a thing where he just does he genuinely find it funny, or is he one of those comics who just laugh to make sure the other comic doesn't think their jokes are failing?
No, 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 no. There are things he wouldn't laugh for. Or maybe at that moment he's tired.
Maybe, but this is the thing. I don't think Jerry, whenever I've done a show with Jerry, it surprises me how much energy he has.
You know, when I laugh too much, it hurts me the lower right side of my stomach.
Yeah, that's mine is sort of upper left hand side.
He laugh, he go, like he keeps going.
It's like laughter has no pain on him. It's crazy.
I really want to know.
It's like the burning question, like the old burning question, what's the meaning of life? At this point, the burning question with Jerry Diamond is, what is funny to him?
So if you think if I have him in my podcast, I should ask him, why do you laugh? Or what kind of question you think should I ask him?
I think, what makes everything so funny to himself? Like what goes through his head when he's hearing a joke? Like, because I know some comics like will watch other comics and they'll analyze the joke. I think that would be quite interesting to see Jerry Diamond on your show, I think.
But do you think it's like chemicals? Maybe he has more dopamine in his body.
Maybe it might be something to do with dopamine.
Like some people will never laugh, they they have no dopamine.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That is an interesting question, to be fair.
Yeah, we need to talk to Jerry, see what's going on with him.
See what's going on in his head.
Yeah. So what do you do? Like, what other things you love to do?
So obviously, as I mentioned earlier, I'm an actor. This is this is the point in the show where I just start plugging random shit. So there's a show that me and a couple of people wrote about a year ago. I think you've seen me post about this on Facebook. The Carnage Returns, which is the first time I've written a show and it's been award. It got award nominated and then it won a award for best online show during a Fringe festival. And I love writing shows. I love writing shows. And the thing that with Carnage Returns is that it's a really unique show. It's something I don't think many Zoom comics would do. It's a comedy horror musical, and it follows this character which I created probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago, who is a magician, showman, and he's really a bit of a psychopath. Throughout the show, you get to learn sort of how he became, messed up in the head, all the way through to watching him, basically murder a load of people in a show. But we do it in a way that's, not too out there, and we get to sing a little song
That's
and go
you.
along.
You play this character.
Yeah, I'm the one who plays the psychopath. Yeah.
So how did you create this character? Like, you become different person. You are not who you are. Yes, in the show.
Yeah. So the way I will do when I rehearse for that character is when I created the character or when I go into the mindset of the character for the show, is I will watch a lot of like serial killer documentaries to sort of like try and figure in my head, okay, like there's American serial killers like Ted Bundy. We look at Ted Bundy and I go, okay, how do you be slightly smart yet slightly psychopathic at the same time? So I'll watch like loads of like true crime like documentaries or listen to true crime podcasts and try and get an idea. Really, that's the sort of process I'll go into when I go into this character. And also vocally, my character sounds a lot different. So when I'm talking normally, not when I'm not playing the character, I just talk in my normal voice. But whenever I put the character on, he has a slightly different voice. So his normal talking voice is, "Hey, let's have fun, Joey." Like it's like very very croaky, very gruff. And then when I laugh on stage, like ha ha, like that. You've heard me laugh before. But my character's evil laugh is he sort of laughs like a little kid. So his laugh will go like it's like a jack. I can tell I'm disturbing you already. Like it is weird, but the character is fun.
No. It's fascinating. I love to learn it. What you say, it's very interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, you watch a podcast, you watch movies. How does the psychopath talks? How they laugh, and then you try to make it your version.
Yeah, I take I'll normally like on little like post-it notes, like little colored notes. I'll take loads of notes whilst I'm listening to that podcast or TV show, and I'll write down little things like, for example, oh, maybe he used to laugh in a certain way, or etc. etc. And then I will take those notes, and what I will normally do in my house is I will turn all the lights off, and I will sit in a corner of my room, and I will think about those notes, and I will try and manifest a character out of just those notes alone. And it's a weird process, but the thing that people are always intrigued by is once you're in the mindset of that character, how do you separate that from when you're on the Zoom screen playing the character to say when I go down to like the local shop after the show and just try and not be that character, because if you start acting like that character in the middle of a shop, there's a very high chance you're going to get arrested. There's a very high chance that you will probably get arrested. But it's always finding that line, and the character in the show is amazing, and that's why you should go and watch it, because
I will.
it's an hour. It's about an hour, but it's the best hour you will have of your life.
I know. I believe you. Is it on YouTube?
Well, we did a recording of it, which I can send to you after the show because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, but if
doing...
someone wanna watch it, where can they find it?
Oh yeah, yes. So the Carnage Returns is going to be doing 5 performances at the Brighton Fringe Festival. It's going to be on Zoom. It's going to be on Zoom. Tickets go on sale at the time of recording in about a week and a half. So you'll be able to buy a ticket, and that will give you the Zoom link, and you can tune in live. And all the performances are going to be live streamed anyway. So they'll be live streamed out onto Facebook. So people will be able to watch the show on Facebook. It's a lot of fun.
When? When?
Oh, when? Oh, my apologies. So it's every Saturday in May. Hang on, no, let me get that right. Every Saturday in May and the first Saturday in June at 9 o'clock UK time, which is whatever time zone you're in. So if you're in Eastern, that will be 4 o'clock in the afternoon. If you're in Pacific, that will be 1 o'clock in the afternoon. If you're in Central, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Basically, if you want to know your time zones, just put into Google like 9 p.m. UK time to whatever your time zone is, and do the conversion that way.
So who told you that when you wanna do like your cycle bath, you have to listen to podcasts and you have to try to create your own, like, are you doing this by yourself? Is it your only way? You are the only one who's doing this?
Yeah, I'm in the show. I'm the only one who gets to act like a psychopath. So I will do that alone, basically. The whole process.
Sorry, I mean actors. If someone wanna act, how does they find? How can they find out to create character? Is there like one way, or it's also your own way? Listen, you do your own way.
I'd say go your own way. There's everyone has their own way of doing things. It's like comedy. You know, everyone has their own way of, you know, organizing sets and stuff like that. But I don't think there's a specific way to, you know, learn how to play these characters. I don't think. So do whatever works for you.
Do you change your voice and you change how you walk? You change.
Yeah, you get to learn that with the character creating process. You sort of get to work out, okay, how does this character walk? How does he, you know, look at the camera? Does he sort of like have one eyebrow down, one up? Does he slightly twitch like that? Like, you get to work these things out. You learn these through the character development process. But yeah, those are things to take into consideration.
Yeah, I think it's like with practice, it become easier and normal.
Yeah, it becomes a lot easier once you've done the show a few times. Like in our case, we've now done this show 4 times, and the character that I play he's sort of like ingrained in my brain. So it's like whenever I have to do that show, it's a lot easier for me because I've played that character a few times now. It's easier for me to go from being, you know, my normal self into being that character.
Yeah, that's nice. And like you can be different characters. Like it depends on the show you are doing.
So yeah, it all depends on the show you're doing.
Really. So why did you like choose to be the psychopath in the show? Do you feel that it's the easiest way?
For me, it's a role that I think allows me to be very creative. It allows me. I don't enjoy playing psychopaths, but I find it. Audiences who have watched the show have told me it's crazy how far I will go with the character. I would love to play different characters, but for the time being, playing the little psychopath in the show, it's a lot of fun. Secretly, it's a weird fun.
Yeah. Do you like feel scared when you hear that someone is psychopath? Would you meet
Yeah,
them?
I've listened to a few true crime like podcasts where there's only been a certain amount of times where I've listened to like a story about certain like psychopaths, and it's genuinely made me go, holy shit, these guys were like fucked up in the head. There's only been a couple of times, and I have relatively thick skin, so it takes a lot to genuinely get into me and go, holy shit, like, but yeah.
So what is psychopath for you? Because you listen to a podcast, you are doing it.
I would say anything to do with people ripping off skin. I think there was this true crime podcast I listened to recently, and there was this guy in America from Wisconsin who basically would dig up graves and would take the corpses, or what he would do is he would find out in the local newspaper about like people's funerals that were going on. He would wait until the funeral was over, wait till everyone's gone, and then that night would go to that grave, dig up the graves, take it back to his farmhouse, take the skin off of the corpse, and would make a skin suit out of it. I
What?
shit you not. This is an actual thing, and I can send you like the podcast. It's crazy.
Mm.
It is.
My
It's crazy.
God.
It
So
really is crazy.
psychopath would do things that's not normal and scary for us. And sometimes psychopath they try to like there is someone who's psychopath will try to kill people and drink their blood. There is psychopath who try to take people from the graves.
Yep.
But what makes them like why some people want to become psychopath and kill people? Some people want to be psychopath
I
and
don't know. Uh, Medical people have said normally it's something to do with like not a lot of the time, a lot of the serial killers and psychopaths that have been recorded in history, they've turned out the way they have because of like them being abused as a kid. You know, I
oh,
I don't really know what creates a psychopath, but I definitely think maybe childhood trauma has got a big part to play in it.
yeah, because I feel like the brain is like machine and it start to get programmed. So when it's kid and it get abused, it programmed in wrong
Yeah,
way.
it programs into the brain going, oh, this behavior is normal, and it's not. So it's weird what happens, and it's weird that these people seem to exist.
That's scary. And how do you think people can recover from psychopath?
I don't know. I don't think most psychopaths end up in prison. So I don't know. There's some people, you
Crazy,
know, I don't know. I genuinely don't know how to answer really.
crazy man.
It is crazy.
Yeah, there is an open mic that's going to happen right now.
Hmm.
Do you want to come? I don't know.
Which one is it?
It's one woman here. What's her name? Um, Heather. She's in New York. She's the host.
Oh, SOS.
SOS. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go to that one.
You have to sign up, or maybe you can text her, see if she give you spot because it's with signing up.
Yeah,
So
I'll drop her a message and see if she's got.
yeah.
I'll drop her
Uh,
a message.
Kim, I know I can talk to you more and more, and I just want to tell you that you are really great,
Oh, I
and
appreciate it.
you are also fuel to me when I see you like
Oh, stop it.
starting.
Stop it.
No,
You're
no, no, no,
flattering
that's
me.
the truth, man. That's the truth. I'm not gonna stop it. So I want you to keep going. I believe in you, and yeah, it's just so. Thank you so much for doing my podcast, for
I
giving me your
appreciate it.
time, and yeah, hopefully our 10th podcast will be with 100 million view.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. So I hope to see you in another open mic, and Yeah, thank you so much. I'm not gonna compliment you anymore because you're gonna tell me to stop it, but I can compliment you.
You know me too well.
Thank you so much, Kym.
No worries, no worries.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Cheers.